Hey friend, welcome back to the Holy and Hungry segment of the Vision Driven Health podcast. Every other week, I do a more biblically focused episode that is meant to be a health devotional for you, where you can bring your hunger to the table and be filled with what God has for your health. I have another throwback for you today from episode 54. It's outdated in that it mentions my son being 19 months old when he's now 2.5. I can't believe how time flies. But it is not outdated in the truth that I share for your health. If you are in need of some inspiration for making healthy choices today, this episode is going to shed some serious light on the power of perspective. When we are grounded in what's actually true, we enable ourselves to stay the course hand in hand with God. Listen in and I'll show you what I mean. Do you find yourself struggling to consistently implement healthy habits? Do you lack energy, confidence, and motivation because of stress, overwhelm, and shame for having not gotten it together by now? Friend, there is hope and grace for your health. Hey, I'm Robin Ryan McDonald, host of the Vision Driven Health podcast. I'm a follower of Jesus, a wife, a mama of two, and a seminarian turned health coach. And I'm so excited that you're here. I found myself in my early 20s captive to cravings and convenience. 20 pounds heavier, super tired, with a face full of acne. I could not figure out how to maintain healthy habits until I discovered the power of aligning my choices with God's vision. 10 years and 2 kids later, by the grace of God, I'm still prioritizing my health and feeling amazing. If you are over quick fixes and are ready to feel good in your own skin, then grab a giant water bottle and let's dive on in. We get biblical perspective from God and from His Word. But how do we actually hear from Him and get to know His thoughts for our health? Well, by spending time with Him, by spending time in His Word and bringing God into our health journey. My team and I wanted to create a tangible resource that was effective in setting the tone both physically and spiritually for a Jesus-centered healthy lifestyle. We wanted to create an experience that would leave participants feeling healthier, proud of themselves, and closer to Jesus. So today I give you the 5-day sugar fast devotional. In this 40-page PDF, you will learn the benefits of fasting from a physical standpoint as well as from a spiritual standpoint. Additionally, you will be given different sugar fast options based on your specific context. At the end of the day, I encourage you to pray about which one you feel led to do. You'll also receive tips on how to succeed, how to continue your momentum spiritually and physically after the fast, along with breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack recipes. Then there are the actual 5 days with 5 devotionals from myself and my team that you get to go through during your fast. You can have access to this totally free by going to visiondrivenhealth.com/sugarfast. I'd love for you to benefit from this resource. So I've got my 5-week-old baby in his car seat and a bunch of other baby things and personal items that I'm trying to juggle. And I'm trying to cross this parking lot. I start walking and my phone drops. But it wasn't horrible. Just the top fourth was shattered. So I just kept using it as it was. I figured, hey, I'll get it fixed eventually. But the cracks, they started to grow. They started to spread. And I thought, it's still fine. I'll get to it eventually. But I didn't. It got to the point where I kind of learned where not to tap or scroll on my phone so that I didn't cut my fingers, which you would think at that point I would have gotten it fixed. But I didn't. Then I had to put a piece of tape over the top part to prevent the pieces from coming out or from further cutting me, which then blocked my camera, which I use a lot for my business. But even then, I still didn't get it fixed. Friend, that newborn I was carrying when I dropped my phone is 19 months old now. And I just got a new phone 3 weeks ago. So yes, I have had a broken screen for 1.5 years. Having the new screen is incredible. And of course, I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner? And you might be thinking, oh, that's so crazy, Robin. What does this story have to do with perspective and health? Well, some of you are listening and you've been looking at your weight loss journey through a broken screen. You don't think it's a big deal, but you've been caught up in the same cycle for years, and it's really starting to take a toll on you. It's affecting your confidence, just like how my phone was cutting my finger. You've got little cuts here and there where you just don't feel good about yourself. It's affecting the perspective that you have of what's possible for your health. Maybe you feel like you're just bound to have the same health as your grandparents because you can't see through your camera, and it's keeping you from seeing it through God's eyes. There's a story in 2 Kings 6 where Elisha, a prophet for God, who gets a foreign king really mad at him. So mad that the king sent his army to surround the city he was in. Elisha's servant was like, Elisha, what do we do? Because of course he sees this giant army. And Elisha says, don't be afraid. Those who are with us are way more than those who are with them. Then Elisha asked God to open the eyes of his servant. And no joke, true story. His servant got the ultimate upgrade to his screen because he looked out and he saw the hills full of heavenly horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. You think that provided him some perspective? Absolutely. Because see, Elisha's servant wasn't aware of what's true. The truth wasn't that they were in dire straits without any way to survive. The truth was that God had provided way more support for them than there was in that army that was surrounding the city from the angry king. So others of you who are like Elisha's servant, you have a really clear picture that your health is not where it should be. You're aware that your blood work needs improving. The scale is not going in the direction you want it to, and your energy is nowhere near where it should be. You're fully aware you need God's help. But what you don't realize is that unlike your family members who maybe didn't have the resources that you do, who didn't have the perspective that's available to you, you can create a different outcome. So today I invite you to seek God's perspective and truth in your health. You may discover that God's already been working on your behalf, leading you to a different approach for your health. There's an army already at work on your side. You may find that there is hope you didn't realize was available before. You might find that there is freedom in your heart from discouragement, the all or nothing mentality, emotional eating, and low confidence. Sometimes the biggest prayer we need answered is the prayer to see what God sees in us and in our situation. I heard a story about a man who went to the doctor and received a cancer diagnosis that predicted he'd have 2 months left to live. Devastated, he left and he prepared to die. And 2 months later, he did pass away. Come to find, he was given the wrong diagnosis. It was someone else's chart that got read to him during his visit. He had internalized what he perceived to be true from that visit and made it his reality. Now, I wasn't able to verify the source of this story, but I was able to find numerous studies charting the correlation between perspective and health outcomes, where people who are given certain diagnoses, who internalize what the timeline is given to them, actually did end up fulfilling that. And those who believed otherwise were able to live longer. This is a phenomenon that's been studied and debated for years. But here's the thing. The only one who really knows what's going on is God. So getting his perspective and truth is the lens by which we want to look through when it comes to our health. Do not wait 1.5 years to get your broken screen cleared up and fixed like I did. Jesus already paid the price. Get the new screen, get the kingdom perspective, and allow the Lord to reveal to you what he wants you to see in your health situation, in your weight loss journey, and all the things that you're facing. So friend, I just pray that God would bless you as you seek him today. Thank you so much for listening to the Vision Driven Health podcast today. I hope this episode inspired you, supported you, and blessed you in some way. If it did, it would mean the world if you would leave a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts and share this episode on your social media. The more reviews and shares this gets, the more people can be blessed and encouraged in creating a Jesus-centered, sustainable, healthy lifestyle. If you want to hang with me and other Jesus-loving ladies who are creating healthy habits that last, be sure to join my free Facebook group, the Made Well Mastermind. Use the link in the show notes to join. Be blessed with hope, joy, and health. I'll see you next week.